Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the Four Horsemen. Greetings, old school magic players. Welcome to the Four Horsemen. In today's video, we're going to be covering the last of our Tournament 21 Wild Wild West semi-finals matches. I'm joined here tonight with my friend and long-term Four Horsemen collaborator, John Eckleberry. Good evening, John.
Howdy.
John and I are back at it again, and Tim is on holiday, so we tried to grab him for this video, but he's just getting back, and John and I have been knocking these last two out. Four Horsemen Old School Magic Tournament number 21 ran this summer, May 16th to June 22nd. You can learn everything you need to know about Four Horsemen at fourhorsemenmagic.com. We also have our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/4horsemenmtg. We called this the Wild Wild West of the Four Horsemen because we are returning to the original Banner Restricted from when we first started this format 3 years ago. Four Horsemen is the only old school Magic the Gathering format that focuses on the original expansion sets, Arabian Nights, Antiquities, Legends, and the Dark. Here's a look at our Banner Restricted. If you've seen our prior videos, we've gone through this. We allow basic lands, dual lands, and we've got 4 restricted cards and the anti-cards and Shahrazad that are banned in this format. And we are really going to be diving into a very interesting match today. These players have battled it out through some very tough matches, and we're going to cover those decks here in just a minute. John has created these fantastic proxy cards that we give out. If you participate in Four Horsemen and you make the semifinals, we send these out. We used to do participation in general for everybody, but that got to be a lot, and we're also then narrowed it down to top 8, and now we're just trying to really reward those players for making the top 4 and the semis. So John will be sending out the player's choice of these proxy cards to our semi-finalists. And for our first place winner, we feature our Ken Meyer Jr. Guardian Beast Purple Moonlight playmat with all of Ken's infamous characters. And this playmat's very popular amongst our players. We'll send you one of these for free if you play and win first place. The original Banner Restricted from June of 2022, we've talked a lot about that in our prior videos. Very few restricted cards, very minimalistic, and allows for some really, really wild and fun decks to play. And you can check out our YouTube playlist for Tournament 21 and watch all the prior matches and see these fantastic cards getting played on the playmat. John, we've covered the last match, Christian versus Jack, and in tonight's video, we're covering Lucas Santos versus Derek Saylor. These guys have 2 fantastic powerhouse decks. We're going to get into those now. Lucas on the left has Underworld Prison, and Derek on the right has Counter Trike. We've covered these decks pretty extensively in our prior top 8 videos, so we won't do a tremendous deep dive. You're welcome to check out those top 8 quarterfinals matches for the deep dive analysis, but John and I will just hit some highlights. John, let's just talk briefly about some of the top highlights from Lucas's black-white artifact Underworld Prison deck.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, this is outside of Lucas's normal wheelhouse of decks that he plays. He's played a lot of red deck and Arabian aggro, and some more in-your-face strategies. This is a change for him. It's really powerful. I like it. I think Underworld Dreams is a really cool engine to put a clock on the game. And then he's got his shields up. I mean, he's got the ivory towers. He's got the spirit links. He's got the abysses. He's got an ash stash to get rid of guys. He's got oubliettes, like Mazavith, Moat. He's got all of his defenses up and ready to just basically sit there until his opponent dies.
Yeah, it's a really powerful deck. There's just so many. There's so many cards that are really challenging to navigate around. You've hit the highlights on all of them. The deck operates around Underworld Dreams, but it's got Moat, it's got Ivory Tower, it's got the Abyss, it's got everything. And so it's a really, really, really brilliant control brew that's just done phenomenally well in this event. And he's even snuck in cards like Greed down there in the lower left next to the Abyss. And John, notice he's got one of your Hellraiser Abyss proxies there. That's
yes.
We'd love to see that. He's also got one of the oubliettes up there in the top row. These are the player participation proxy cards that John made that you saw in the prior graphics there. So it's really cool to see these cards getting played. The players love them. And John, you've done an awesome job with some really cool proxy art there. So hats off to Lucas for this fantastic Underworld black-white artifact prison deck. Such a controlling, life-gaining, millstoning nightmare. Super, super powered build by Lucas. For Derek's deck, we've also covered this extensively in our prior top 8 quarterfinals videos. But John, what are the key highlights from this deck that you like the best?
It's kind of the fusion of some of the more powerful cards in the format. You've got kind of the blue robot strategy going on with the mana drains and the Trikes and the Tawnos' Coffin and the workshops. But you've also got Burnham Gins, which is a big card. Green also gets you Sylvan Library, which is an incredibly powerful draw engine. Out of blue, you've got those ghost ships, so you see some other blue decks running that. It's kind of it's a little bit of a greatest hits of some of those colors. And then he's got some catch-all stuff like Desert Twister. It costs a lot, but it destroys anything. And in this format, it's one of the only definitive answers to an enchantment. Outside of bouncing it with a blue card, this is the only card that can really destroy an enchantment or any other problematic card in play. Yeah, it's really cool, and he's got a Dark Heart tucked away in there for a little extra life gain.
Yep.
You've got triple Diamond Valley in the main board, which would be really good against certain strategies, but I don't know how important it'll be in this matchup. But we'll see. And he's got some interesting stuff in the sideboard. That card that counters enchantments and instants that target your creatures. I gotta look it up actually to see exactly what it does.
I think it's Power Leech or Power. Is it Power Leech?
Well, Power Leech is there too, but I'm looking at the Ring of Immortals. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Power Leech is not a card we see very often, but it's also a life gain. It aligns with that life gain strategy that Derek's got here. Gain 1 life whenever an opponent artifact becomes tapped, or whenever it's activated, or whenever an artifact with a cost of 1, or whenever the activation cost of 1 artifact is paid, an opponent's artifact is paid. So if you're activating an artifact or tapping an artifact, this thing's going to give you a life. So that's pretty interesting. Instead of just destroying a bunch of artifacts, he's just going to gain a ton of life off of you having them. And then the other card you mentioned was Ring of the Immortal. Let me pull that up. Ring of Immortals counters an instant or an enchantment that is targeting a permanent you control. Yeah, let me pull that card up. Ring of Immortals. Ring of Immortals. Yeah. Melissa Benson art. The ring, the green, the lightning. Yeah, so this thing is an anti-control, anti-instant countering artifact. It does cost 5, but he's got Mishra's Workshop, so he can put this thing down with 3 lands potentially, or even 1 elf, 1 forest, and a workshop, and he can put this into play. So,
It's kind of an interesting card in that it's really better than it used to be, because it used to only counter interrupts in its original state. But because there are no more interrupts and they're all instants, it now counters all instants. I mean, it still has to be targeting your thing, but like it's actually a more powerful card than it was when it was printed.
yeah, especially with the workshop making it so much cheaper to put into play. So really spicy and really cool and really thoughtful, because if you come up against another control deck with mana drains and remove souls and boomerangs, flash counters, this is gonna.
Well, it's got to target a permanent you control, I think, right? So like it's only going to stop things like the big one's going to be Spirit Link. It's going to be able to stop Spirit Links.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Avoid Fate sort of, right?
That's exactly the card I was thinking about when I was trying to think about what this card did. Avoid Fate. It's very similar in that it's going to stop something that's targeting a permanent. You can either an instant or a enchantment.
Right, but it can also deal with divine offerings and crumbles, and it can deal with fissures. Any of the instances that target permanents, it can deal with that. So I just think you're right. It's really spicy, really functional and cool inclusion in his board. Yeah. So the other card I wanted to just zoom in on is the blue enchantment that he's got here up in the upper right, in the Eye of Chaos. We haven't seen this card show up much.
Which one?
In the Eye of Chaos, the enchant world in the upper right.
What is it?
It's next to the Felden's Cane. So basically,
it doubles the cost of instants and interrupts.
Yeah, this is a Brian Snooty artwork card. Just really cool looking, weird helmet guy doing some magic shit, and it's an enchant world for a blue and 2. So it can take out.
Yeah, that art's pretty dope. I'm looking at it right now on my phone.
Yeah, it's really cool. When you really look at it, this guy's conjuring up some chaotic magic here, and the thing is when you run up against Abyss, it can wreck your deck, right? And for Derek here, he does have the Triskelion, so Abyss is not a complete game over. But for a lot of opponents, if they're not running these artifact creatures, Abyss can spell game over. So he's got the In the Eye of Chaos, I think, specifically for Abyss. And it also functions as a way to help double the costs of interrupts and instants, from your opponent. So basically, whenever a player casts an instant spell, counter it unless that player pays X, where X is its converted mana cost. So yeah, super good against other people playing instants, and that complements his Ring of Immortal, right, John? Because now he's got.
I mean, it does unfortunately affect his instance as well, but I guess saying that counterspells cost 4 is, even if that's a symmetrical effect with you playing them too, maybe that could. I don't know, maybe that could be helpful in some instances because they have to hold more mana up to stop whatever it is that you're doing. How about this quad reconstruction here? I mean, there's not a ton of artifacts in the deck, but the ones he does have are powerful, so he can, recycle Trikes, or he can get those coffins back if they happen to get busted somehow. I guess he could get a Felden. Does Felden's Cane get removed from the game?
Yeah, when you activate it, it does.
Yeah, so you can't get that back with it. But
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I don't,
here.
I
It's
don't
here
know.
for the Triskelions, man. In if you've watched any of our prior matches, you know Derek is basically regrowing every Triskelion, and he's got 4 Triskelions. Plus, he mentioned in the comments, if you look in the prior videos, he doesn't have a recall in this deck, and I think he meant to include a recall, but forgot, and he said, "Hey, I didn't really want to retake my deck photos, so I just foregoed the recall, and instead he's just got these 4 reconstructions that he can get back every one of these Trikes or the Tawnos Coffin if it gets destroyed."
God, he's got in the Eye of Chaos is right in the main deck there.
Yeah,
That's really interesting. But like you said, it's probably just for the Abyss for the
Yeah.
most part.
and then you hit it on earlier. The last card that we want to talk about is Diamond Valley, and this card, such a powerhouse in Full Horsemen, so much so we ended up having to restrict it, because any deck that has Diamond Valley versus a deck that doesn't, then unless it's a Millstone or control type deck, whoever has Diamond Valley wins. It really is that powerful, especially.
It's kind of bonkers how good life gain is in this format, because I don't feel like it's necessarily that relevant in a lot of other
Right.
old school formats, but it does seem to tip some games,
Big
and
time.
we really had to kind of throttle some of the life gain cards and a lot of the utility lands in general. You know, if you decide that you don't want to be a 4-strip format, you're kind of put into a place where you also have to restrict a number of the lands.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this deck is really capitalizing on the Wild West theme, because every one of those lands there that he's playing are either banned or restricted in regular 4 Horsemen.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting. He is playing 4 of some of the powerful lands, but he's not. He's playing 4 workshops. He's playing 4 strip mines. He's playing 1, library, because it is restricted, and then three mistress factories. But then he elected, instead of playing 4 mistress factories, he elected to play 3 diamond valleys. And that was one of the things that I thought, man, I think I'd rather just go with the 4 factories and the 2 diamond valleys. You get that extra.
Yeah, I also would make that same exact call.
Yeah, that's my only critique of Derek's deck.
If you want the extra Diamond Valley, you can push it to the sideboard, but I think 3 is a little bit excessive in the main, especially since it doesn't add mana.
Right.
Then you really, once you have 1, I mean, certainly there's 4 strip mines in the opposing deck probably, so you're going to lose. You might lose one of them, but I don't know.
The other thing, John,
it's also amazing that we haven't seen anybody go crazy with library in this top 8, because it is such an insane card if you stick it.
Yeah, it really is. Well, the other thing I wanted to point out, if you do a quick land count here, this was one of my other, kind of raised an eyebrow a little bit on Derek's mana base. He doesn't have Fellwar Stone, and instead he's running Elves of Deep Shadow. And, when you're running 4 Workshop, you can play a Fellwar Stone turn 1. And in fact, you can play 2 Fellwar Stones turn 1. I played against Virgilio just the other day, who won, I think it was tournament 18 or 19 or something, with a robots deck. And he played a turn 1 Workshop, played a Fellwar Stone. I already had a land in play, because he went second. And then he tapped his Fellwar Stone and played a second Fellwar Stone. And then he played his second turn Triskelion, and it was just game over for me. So that can actually happen in 4 Horsemen. And so that was my only other critique of Derek's deck here, is that I think I would have rather run Fellwar Stones instead of the Elves, because he's not running Pendlehaven, and they do damage, and they only tap for black. So that's one change I would make. And the other thing I wanted to point out, John, is do a quick land count. Derek has 9.
It's pretty low. It's pretty low.
19 lands.
Especially if you think you're going to be sacking some of the strip mines, and the workshops can only power out your artifacts. They can't help you power out your other cards. The Diamond Valleys don't add any mana, so those don't count. You know, that black mana that he's getting from those elves is only good for that single dark card.
That's right.
That's kind of shoehorned into the deck. I mean, it's a cool card. I like it, but also I just don't know how great it really is in this deck. I mean, he does have, let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's got 11 forests.
Yeah.
That he can sack to it, I guess, and he does have a Felden's Cane to recycle, but yeah, I don't know. It seems a little bit gimmicky. And in our last video, I was also talking about another deck that I felt like should have been playing Fellwork Stone that wasn't. And it's just kind of a most builds of most decks, I think you want to be playing it in this format.
Agreed. All right, well, so that covers the decks. Derek Saylor, Counter Trike, and Lucas Santos, Underworld Prison. With that, John, let's get over to the match. I'll switch over here, and I will also share. There we go. Let me share this with you, John, so you can see this. One second. All right, John, I got the matchup for us here. Does that look good on your side?
Yeah. You know, I like both of their mats. They're cool for different reasons.
Yeah, both of these guys have interesting and unique mats for sure. We've got Lucas on the left and Derek on the right. Derek's on the play. Starts off with a tropical and plays a Felden's Cane right out of the gate. Well, Derek's hitting pretty solid land count, given he's only got 19 lands to tap for mana outside those workshops. So he's really fortunate to have, in a third land as well. Really, really doing good on the mana drops. Meanwhile, Lucas has a scrubland and a swamp and gets a turn 2 Kumbaj Witches. We didn't talk about the witches, but they are a powerhouse black Arabian aggro creature that just really does a fantastic job of dealing with Mishra's Factory and getting a lot of protection from those weenies. Look at this, John. Derek gets a turn 4 workshop and drops the Triskelion.
I think one of the things here is to resist the urge to blow those counters off and kill the witches. I see this happen a lot where somebody drops a trike and then they immediately use it to shoot stuff. When that thing's a battering ram, I think he's better off beating in for 4 for as long as he can. Which apparently is right now because he's going to get Divine Offering. So now he's going to, I guess, either shoot for 2 and then have it kill itself so that he doesn't gain life, which is what he does. That's that's a smart play.
Well, that very succinctly deals with the Triskelion. That was going to be a big threat for him. But yes, he's decided to do the 2 counters to Lucas and the 1 to the Triskelion so that Lucas doesn't gain 6 life. Meanwhile, meanwhile, where were we, John? Double Urnum Jin. Lucas elects to strip mine the Diamond Valley. But if you notice here, Lucas passes turn after strip mining Derek's Diamond Valley. Derek plays an Dark Elves of Deep Shadow, and then also plays a second Diamond Valley. So maybe that's why Derek was tripling down on the Diamond Valley, because of strip mine mania, right?
What's he gonna do about that mold? I guess he's got 2 Desert Twisters. I guess he can draw a Desert Twister.
Yeah, he does have Desert Twister in there, and he can get rid of it. And he can also just Diamond Valley his Urnham Gens and gain 5 life each if he needs to. All right, well, so right now it's anyone's game. Lucas is at 15, so he's taking a few damage, but not a ton. Derek's at 15, and Lucas is sitting on 20. But Derek's got so many ways to gain life, and here's another one. Now, here's part of his combo, right, John? The Felden's Cane combined with the Dark Heart of the Wood. He can recycle all of those forests and gain a ton of life. And notice what Lucas pulls here. He's got his Millstone coming down, but the Millstone's not great when Felden's Cane is on the board, right? He's going to need a way to get rid of that cane to really even make his Millstone effective.
That's right.
But he's milling anyway. That's funny. Would you do that? I don't even know if I would bother, right? Because as soon as he...
I mean, I don't know. It seems a little futile.
If you've got the mana, I guess why not? I mean, but once Derek is forced to pop that cane, like, you know, Lucas has some answers. He's got the Divine Offerings, right? So he's got ways to deal with that cane, no problem. Okay, so Derek decides to Diamond Valley his Urnham Gen. And notice here, John, that Lucas has put a Spirit Link on his own Kumbaj Witches.
It's pretty cool. It mitigates the damage. Is there any good reason that he hasn't killed the elves with it yet?
Well, I think he's just going straight for Derek. Like, the elves can't really get through for any damage.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not doing anything. They're sitting there not doing anything. I'm just saying you could just get a card off the board. But yeah, you're right. What's the point?
Yeah, you raise a really good point, because if he had just pinged the elves, then Derek would not be able to play that Dark Heart of the Wood.
He would not have been able to play it, no. Because that's his only source of black.
That's right. So that would have been a smart move. And if Lucas had looked at the deck photos, which I'm sure he did, he would have known that.
It's not a huge thing. I mean, it's kind of a corner case thing. Like, you're probably right. He'd rather just damage him. But it's just one damage to get a card off the board. I probably would have removed it just because I could.
Right.
And denied him that resource, denied him the black mana.
Yeah.
Although maybe he wants him tapping it so that he takes damage, but the only thing that he would do that for really is Dark Heart, and now he's got the ability to gain 12. I mean, he'd have to sack all his lands, but...
I'm going to bump the...
Yeah, I don't know. This is interesting, because he's not really going to deck him, at least not in the immediate future, with that cane out.
Right.
And he's not going to really... I guess he's just on the witch train. He's just going to just bring him for one for the next 13 turns.
Yeah. And what did Derek cast that Desert Twister on? Did he cast it on the... Because the Desert Twister got Millstone. That's what it was. Man, he needed that Desert Twister for the moat. So that was one smart reason to keep millstoning. You might millstone away the Desert Twisters. Really, really.
I mean, he can recycle them if they both end up in the yard. I mean, if he sees a second Desert Twister hit the yard, he might actually want to
pop the cane.
Want to crack the cane.
Yeah. So I'm starting to see. I'm starting to see Lucas's logic here, and just pedal to the metal on the millstone. It makes more sense now. Here comes Triskelion number 2. And I bumped the speed up for us, John, to 175, so we can more expeditiously get through this. Derek's starting to get low on life here, but he drops down to 11, and he pops off those 3 counters and takes down the witches. And that gives Lucas some life, right? Or do the witches have to deal the damage in order to gain the life?
Yeah, the Spirit Link's only damage dealt. So that actually is kind of a big deal, because that witch was kind of a win condition there.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that an abyss?
It is an abyss coming down.
Is that a Hellraiser abyss?
That's a Hellraiser John Eckleberry special. And, Derek has gotten to 7 cards as well, so his Library of Alexandria is online. And right away, Derek is electing to pop that cane in response to the Dust to Dust. So Lucas played Dust to Dust targeting what? The cane and the Triskelion. So he exiles the cane and the Triskelion, but Derek can pop the cane in response, but it gets exiled anyways. It's funny, the guys do the 6 piles when they start their matches, but when they get into the game, they only do the 3.
Yeah, that's pretty typical, I think.
Okay, so now Derek draws for turn, and he's back on library, getting to 7 cards. This is a problem for Lucas. Derek has gotten all his strip mines back, and Lucas has not. So this is going to really, I think, change the game. All those Desert Twisters, Triskelions, and the Mana Drain. In fact, that Mana Drain should be in the graveyard. What's it doing up there with the 4 dice counter? That should have been shuffled back into Derek's deck.
Oh, that's really interesting. So he's realizing that right now, actually. he had it sitting there to remind him to get the mana from it, but it really should have been in the graveyard.
Well, I guess he could have played the Mana Drain, and then in response to the Mana Drain before the goes to the graveyard, he pops the cane. But yeah, it would have been better for him to do it in the right order so that Mana Drain would go back in. Man, so Derek's really starting to gain control of this game. He's on library. He's got a million ways to gain life between the Diamond Valleys, the Dark Heart. He just got all of his strip mines, 2 or 3 strip mines recycled back into his deck, along with those Triskelions, at least one of them. Lucas is going to have to draw into his 2nd Millstone and hope to just mill Derek out. This could be a very, very, very long game, John. I know it's late for us. we don't want a long game this late at night.
This is game 1 too, isn't it?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
Whose idea was it to do these games so late at night?
Oh shit, it was mine.
Well, Lucas does have a 2nd Millstone in his deck. Now, I don't know what's going on here with the tapping of the Triskelion. The Triskelion cannot attack with the moat in play. I know what's going on. It was the Tawnos Coffin. There's another Dust to Dust in the graveyard there. So Lucas used his other Dust to Dust to exile the Tawnos Coffin and what was the other artifact there? So that it keeps Derek off of his Triskelion, the Triskelion Coffin combo. But Derek is able to get in the air for 2 with Ghost Ship for at least a turn until the Abyss is eventually going to kill off all his non-artifact creatures. Wow, now Lucas plays Ivory Tower. He's got 5 life, so he's going to be gaining life. And he's got the Fountain of Youth down there. He's at, what is he at, John? He's at 29 life.
It's gonna be a long road.
I'm gonna pump this baby up to 2x. Let's get the double X speed going down. We'll have to be very quick with our commentary.
I guess I should start paying closer attention.
So the Abyss needs to be killing the elves next turn for Derek. So he's got to keep pumping out some weenie to keep his ghost ship from munching it to the Abyss.
Pump those weenies.
So he decides. Now look at this, John. What do you think of this move? Let me pause here. He triggers the Abyss to target the elves for the Abyss's trigger, and then he Diamond Valleys the elf in response to the Abyss trigger. Does that work?
Yeah, I think so. Because it doesn't then search for another thing or whatever.
It doesn't search for another target after it's targeted.
Yeah.
So he's able to go back to 12 life. And now he's back to 7 cards. So bringing him down to 11 here. He's back on library draw. Gets another workshop. And another ghost ship. I don't know. Would you play that second ghost ship with Abyss in play? I think I might wait till I get my In the Eye of Chaos, since he knows it's a 1-of in that deck.
I mean, it's tough. He's trying to... Yeah, I don't know.
Lucas is at 28
Yeah,
life.
he's at too much life to, try to race or whatever.
Yeah, I think I would just hold my creatures and I would just wait till I draw into my In the Eye of Chaos. One card that is Derek running Jaloom Tome?
It's not worth sacrificing that card to get 2 points of damage in the next turn. It's just...
Yeah,
I don't know.
Derek is running 2 Sylvan Library, but he's not running Jaloom Tome. Instead, he elected to run 2 Tawnos Coffin and 2 Library with that In the Eye of Chaos and the Feldons, the couple of Desert Twisters, and the Dark Heart. So if he was running Jaloom Tome, that would give him some extra drawing possibilities. He does get the second Triskelion here, so... But those guys... I
mean, he is trying to race. I mean, the moat's gone, right? So,
What did he use to kill the moat? Did he get a Desert Twister?
He must have Desert Twister. When we were talking about the double ghost ship, I was like, well, I mean, it's 2 extra damage, but it's a flyer. But apparently he's able to swing with the Trike too. So, he really truly is trying to race, although I don't think he's going to get there. I mean, even if he pounds him down for a fair amount of damage, he's gaining life from the Ivory Tower, and he's just got so much life that this doesn't seem to be a winning strategy.
Yeah. So he oubliettes one of the Triskelions, and the Abyss kills the second ghost ship here. Plus, he's got continued life gain between the Ivory Tower and the Fountain of Youth. So Lucas is sitting pretty on a ton of life.
Why play that Ernamjin there? Why play it when it's just gonna die next turn? I don't really.
Well, maybe he's gonna Diamond Valley it or maybe, yeah, I would assume he's gonna Diamond Valley it. But yeah, you're right. I think I would just wait to try to get that In the Eye of Chaos, get rid of Abyss, and then you can play the Ernam and attack. Well, there are 2 Abyss in this deck, though. That's one thing I just thought of. He's got a real Abyss, it looks like, and he's got your Hellraiser Abyss.
Yeah, it's not restricted, so in this version of the format, so.
Right. Yeah, so it's I guess he just wanted the 5 life gain to bump him back up to 17. I mean, that's pretty strong to get you off of low life, and he can hit in with factories now. So he's got the 4/4 Triskelion, and he'll have 2 2/2s coming in. Lucas is at a disadvantage in terms of strip mines because Derek popped a couple of his strip mines, and then Feldon's Cane recycled them back in. So he's going to be able to strip more land than Lucas.
His factories are going to be putting in some pretty good work here with that Abyss out. It's nice to be able to have some extra stuff to attack with.
Yeah. Well, in here, he's playing the Dark Elves when he doesn't really have to.
No, he's just gonna sack those for 1 point of life. I mean, he's training a card for 1 point of life. I don't know how good it is, but also he just knows that it's probably never gonna be good.
Right.
So.
Okay, so Spirit Link cast by Lucas, and in response, Derek pops his Triskelion to do a couple damage and then kill the Triskelion with the last Triskelion arm, thereby sending the Triskelion to the graveyard, and the Spirit Link kind of fizzles. So that's.
I guess he does that in lieu of just letting it sit, doing an extra point of damage, and letting it sit on the yard because he's got 4 reconstructions, right? So like he's gonna have ways to get the Trike back.
Yeah, and he didn't want Lucas to be able to Divine Offering it and gain 6. Lucas is coming down now below 20. He's finally at 19. And Derek is at 17. Well, he's showing 18 on his screen, but Lucas shows him at 17. So Derek is starting to get in for some damage here. That moat, the Desert Twister on the moat has made the real difference here.
I don't think Lucas added the 1 point of life from the Dark Elves that he sacked.
Ah, that's what it is. Okay.
Lucas, I mean, it's a minor discrepancy. I don't think it's probably going to matter that much in this game, but I do think Derek's count is correct.
Right, gotcha. Lucas only has the 1 moat. He only ran 1 of them, at least in the main board. He's got a second one in the sideboard. So, these factories are going to be, like you said, they're going to be doing the work. This game may turn just on the factories. Derek was able to get rid of the millstone. What did he get rid of the millstone with? I guess he got... The only thing he has to get rid of the millstone is the Desert Twister. So did he happen to draw into his second Desert Twister for the millstone and the moat, both of them?
It seems like a crazy thing to use your Desert Twister on, but I mean... I guess if they're going to do a bunch of draw go, that might be a win condition for Lucas. So there's man, so he's got double Fountain Youth, he's got Ivory Tower, he's really going to be able to mitigate basically all the damage that Derek's doing.
Yeah, with that second Fountain of Youth and the Ivory Tower, he's gaining 4 life per turn. So he's staying at parity with these 2 factories without, blinking an eye. Wow, so Desert Twister for the moat and then Desert Twister for the millstone. Does Lucas have a second millstone? He does. So Lucas right now is thinking, I need to get my greed and I need to get my millstone. Lucas has a Felden's Cane as well. I forgot about that. If you look in the deck photo there, John, in the bottom row.
I'm really impressed by how far Lucas has come, like in his play style and in his I guess temperament as a player. Like he's I mean, we're watching this at 2x, but he's really contemplating, his plays, and he's holding back and really piloting this control deck in a way that's looking really good for him. Yeah. I don't really know how Derek gets out of this at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, Derek doesn't have a second Felden's Cane in the main deck, and he doesn't have a second one in his sideboard either. So, popping that cane early, it gave him a bit of an advantage on those strip mines, and he got to use one of his Desert Twisters again. But now he's in a real predicament. He also has been drawing a ton of cards off of his Library of Alexandria. Did Lucas finally strip mine that? It looks like he did. And he stripped one.
No, he stripped mine.
Oh, he stripped his factory. Yeah, so Lucas doesn't want to strip his library because he basically wants him to.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, let him draw himself out. Let him deck himself.
Yeah, it's just another millstone basically at this point because he really pretty much doesn't care about anything in Derek's deck except for maybe in the Eye of Chaos.
Man, these spirit links are like acting like swords to plowshares in this matchup. They're just killing Trikes.
Yeah, it's a really great answer for Triskelion. Okay, so Lucas is taking 2 from the factory, bringing him down to 16, but then he's back to gaining 2. He really needs to remember to use his Fountain of Youth. He could have gained 2 more there, no problem. It looks like he forgot. He should have gained a total of, if he's got 6 cards in hand, he should have gained a total of 4 life, not 2. From the 2 fountains plus the tower. Maze of Ith has also come down on Lucas' side.
another roadblock.
And he's
like,
running.
This is so funny. It's point counterpoint. Like, Derek keeps smashing additional creatures, mostly Trikes, and then Lucas has an additional answer. So, you have 2 creatures again? Oh, let's kill one of them.
Yeah, and now Lucas strip mines the last factory, and with that, Derek just straight up concedes. He's like, I got no way to kill you now.
This is a futile effort. You might as well use his
time
and mental acuity to move to a new game.
It's not entirely futile. He does have the In the Eye of Chaos as an out. So there is a potential where he could have drawn the In the Eye of Chaos, but now that he's got... And that would.
But even then, he's only got 1 attacker at that point, right? And
let's see. I guess he's lost all of his Triskelions. Maybe he's lost most of his Urnums. So yeah, I think he just said, "Hey, let's pack it in and move to game 2. The chances of me getting my In the Eye of Chaos, destroying your Abyss, and then getting an Urnum and attacking." He had 2 Maze of Ith. He had 1 in play and 1 left in the deck. So these guys are going to sideboard. John, let's switch over and let's take a look at the sideboards. All right, John, let's start with Lucas's deck. Well, actually, since Derek lost this match, let's start with Derek's deck. So in Derek's sideboard, he's got 2 Flash Counter, 2 Power Leech, the 2 Flash Floods, the Ring of Immortal, an extra Remove Soul, 3 Crumbles, 3 Tetravis. Down there in the lower right under the T21 is a 3rd Desert Twister. That's what's covered up down there. So if you're Derek, what are you going to sideboard in and what are you going to sideboard out here, John?
Well, I like the Tetravises. I like the extra Desert Twister. I kind of even like the Power Leech to put on something like a Fountain of Youth so that, like, every time they use it, you also gain a life. And he can pretty safely take out, I would maybe take out the Dark Heart and the Elves. That's 5 cards. So, I mean, that might be a little sketchy since his land count's so low. I don't know. What do you think about dropping Elves when his land count's that low? Can you afford to do it?
I know. I would not do it. 19 land that tap for mana, not including the workshops, that's only 23 lands, and the workshops are only good for the 6 cards in the middle there. So I'm effectively feeling like I'm on 19 land here. And John, we've talked about this in our other prior commentary. When you've got 4 strip mine on your side and your opponent has 4 strip mine on their side, across the time frame of a game, that's a potential -8 lands on the board. 4 for your opponent and 4 for you. When you activate your strip mines, you're losing a land. Same for them, and they're taking out a land. So he's only got 19 lands to tap for straight up mana for any card, and it's a potential -8 across this match. I think that's really, really, really thin.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know, man. Does he?
He needs.
Urnum's great and all, but like it's a little weak to what's going on in the other deck. He maybe maybe trades the Urnums for the Tetravises and the other Twister.
Well, I think he's going to want the Ring of Immortal, right? Because the Ring of Immortal, let's take a look at that card again. Ring of Immortal, pay 3, counter target, interrupt, or enchantment. Can only counter spells which target a permanent under your control. Yeah, so it's a straight up avoid fate that can be used multiple times, but it costs 3. So this is really good for Derek because he can basically counter the Spirit Links or counter the Divine Offerings. He can just straight up counter those enchantments. Or if Lucas, what does he have in his board? He doesn't have anything else that targets. Well, he's got Artifact Possession. Is that an enchantment?
It's funny. It can even counter a Divine Offering that is targeting the ring itself.
Yes.
It can protect itself.
Right.
Which is kind of fun.
Yeah. So I think Ring of Immortal has to come in. What else has he got here? He's got 3 crumbles. He's probably going to want the crumbles so he can take out those millstones up there in the upper left in Lucas's deck. The millstone is a threat to him. Oubliette targets a creature, right?
Well, but it's weird. It's an enchantment that comes in that then will like target a creature. So like you can't. The ring isn't gonna work on it because it's not an aura. Oh. It's just an enchantment that then does its thing. It's a weird card mostly because it's old. Huh. I mean, if it was a newer card, it probably would be an aura. Well, maybe not though. I mean, like Ring of what's the
here? I'm gonna show.
What's the white one? The fairy ring, the corrected one. From later on.
The Oblivion ring or something.
Oblivion ring is just an enchantment, right?
Yeah. I'm going to put the new version that has a new text. When Oubliette enters the battlefield, target creature phases out until Oubliette leaves play. So it is an enchantment. It's not an enchant creature.
And the current version uses phasing, which is also like super weird.
Yeah, auras and enchantments phase out with it. While permanents are phased out, they're treated as though they don't exist. Yeah, so the Ring of Immortal will not counter the Oubliette, but it's very good against Lucas's Spirit Links, Divine Offerings, and he's even got Artifact Possession in his board. So I do think that ring is very, very good, and I think, you know, with the moat in play and knowing that Lucas is running Abyss, the Tetravis, you have my attention here, right? Those 3 Tetravis in the lower right in his board.
Yeah.
In Derek's board.
Yeah, the Tetra, he's going to want those for sure.
Right. So the 3 Tetravis need to come in. The Ring of Immortal should come in. And I would put in at least... he doesn't have any Artifact Destruction main deck except for the 2 Desert Twisters. And he might need those for Abyss or something else. So... yeah, I think I would want to sideboard in the 3 Tetravis, at least 2 crumbles, maybe all 3 crumbles, and that Ring of Immortal. That's what I would want to sideboard in.
And the extra Desert Twister maybe too.
And that extra Desert Twister in the bottom that's hiding under the T21 there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 cards. All right, if we're going to sideboard in 8 cards, what 8 cards would we take out? I don't know. Does In the Eye of Chaos, is that good against Lucas?
Well, it's only really good to get rid of an Abyss, but if you just make yourself less vulnerable to the Abyss, that's probably better.
It's so also cheaper. It's cheaper than a Desert Twister.
Drop the Eye, drop the Urnums.
Drop the Urnums?
Yeah, they're just going to die to the Abyss or whatever else. I like the artifact creatures a lot better because, like, the Tetravis is fly, and also he can get them back with reconstruction if they get destroyed. I just don't.
So you'd keep the ghost ships, but cut the Urnums?
Yeah, the ghost ships fly. I mean, they're still going to die to Abyss potentially, but I don't know. Urnum is weak to both Abyss and to Moat, so...
Well, if you're going to go down that route, then now we're back to your original question. Do you keep the elves in? Maybe you take out the Urnums and the elves, and then that's exactly 8, and you put in the 8 cards we talked about.
I just hate to take out 4 mana sources when we're sideboarding in a whole bunch of 6-cost cards, but it definitely is going to be a longer game, a little bit of draw go, because it's not like he needs to worry about Lucas, blitzing him and killing him. He's not playing an aggro deck. So, yeah, I mean, that might be the strategy. That might be the way to go.
I think the crumbles are going to be really important because that's his mechanism to deal with the millstones.
Yeah.
Do the power leeches gain him anything here?
I mean, I think they're cool if you drop them on a Fountain of Youth, but I don't know if they're worth a slot. Maybe. It turns the Fountain of Youth into a symmetrical effect for each game of life. That's
true. It does. But he'd have to find a couple more things to sideboard them out. Yeah, so I don't know, man. This is a tough one. If the Abyss doesn't come out till, turn 4 or 5 most games. And if he gets a first turn elf, he can also attack with it, and start chipping in for a little bit of damage. Then when, by the time Abyss comes out, he's probably been able to use the elf to power out a Triskelion or a Tetravis. So maybe the elves do need to stay in. Maybe the 4 Urnums come out. Does he need 2 Sylvan Library and 4 Reconstruction? He probably needs the Reconstructions for sure because of all the Divine Offerings.
I like the Reconstructions. I think they're good.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, well, number one, if you take the Urnums out, then you don't need those Diamond Valleys. So I'm thinking if he pulls the 4 Urnums, he can pull the 3 Diamond Valleys out. And then he can take out maybe 1 Tawnos Coffin. Or do you think he should leave the coffin in since he's going to?
I like the coffins because they can protect your guy, or they can combo with Trike to...
The obvious one we're missing, John. Remove Soul. We need to be looking at Remove Soul here because...
it doesn't do anything.
Lucas only has 2 creatures in his entire deck, and it's the...
Yeah, there's nothing to counter.
Witches.
There's nothing to counter. Get rid of those.
Okay, so so those... And he can kill the witches with Triskelion arms. So, yeah, the 3 Remove Souls gotta come out. And then you could take out 2 Diamond Valleys and 2 Urnums. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or do you just take out all Urnums and leave the Diamond Valleys?
I think that the Diamond Valleys can go. I don't think
they're really only good because of Urnum. They're giving you 5 life. I mean, they will give you 4 life off the ghost ships or 4 life off of Tetravis if you have to sack it. But the thing is Lucas's deck is not doing damage really, except for the Underworld Dreams. The Underworld Dreams and the Kumbaj Witches and the Millstones are Lucas's win conditions. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll take out the 3 Remove Souls. We'll take out 2 Diamond Valleys. That's 5. And we can take out 3 Urnums. That's 6, 7, 8. And then we can put in the Ring of Immortal, the 3 Crumbles, the 3 Tetravis, and the Desert Twister. I think that's probably the route I would go.
There you go. You got there.
When you have a lot of time to think this stuff through and debate it and bounce ideas off someone else, you can really arrive at some more optimal sideboarding plays. The other way you can do this is if you do practice games and you practice, with your friends or one of the other players playing the opponent's deck.
I mean, if you're going to a tournament where you know the meta pretty well, you can kind of figure out your sideboard for different matches that you're likely to play. But the thing here is that, like, you could go up against a number of weird things in this tournament that you don't normally see. And so it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But, sideboarding is pretty important. It's a skill for sure.
It really is. It's almost the most important skill. Okay, so let's take a look. We spent a lot of time on debating on Derek's sideboarding. Let's look at Lucas's sideboard. He's got an extra Tawnos Coffin sitting in the board. He's got 2 more Abyss to bring him to 4 Abyss total. He's got 2 Artifact Possessions. And we didn't really talk about Artifact Possession. That is a card we don't see very often. Let me pull that up. That's an old... is that a Legends? Yeah, no, it's an Antiquities card. Christopher Rush art. The art in this card always kind of reminded me of the Junin Efreet a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It does have that kind of weird.
It looks like it's a Junin Efreet wrapped with a longer tail wrapped around a sword. It's the.
A lot of these Christopher Rush cards, like they have a strange. It's almost like there's a texture to the creature's skin or whatever that. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, that card does. It does 2 if an artifact's tapped, right? So if he sticks that on, like a Fountain of Youth, anytime the Fountain of Youth's no good anymore because it'll gain 1, but it'll lose.
Well, but this is in Lucas's deck, so this is in Lucas's sideboard, not.
Oh, right. Sorry. So what are you even putting on of Derek's, really?
I mean, the Tawnos Coffin is the main target here.
Just the coffin.
Yeah, just the coffin, and you'd probably rather just get rid of the coffin with your Divine Offering. But maybe Artifact Possession makes sense here. Let's keep that thought, and let's look through the rest of the sideboard here. So he's also got 2 Triskelions of his own. That could be good in this matchup. He's got 2 Circle of Protection Artifact. We didn't really talk about that card. This is a card you also only see in Full Horsemen. We don't see this much in any other old school format.
I mean, if artifacts are the only thing that are good against you, and then you also can stop those, like, I don't know what Derek's win condition even is.
Right. It's funny, on the Gatherer, there's Circle of Protection Art.
Yeah, it's
from Unglued.
Unglued card, right?
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
I was searching for Circle of Protection Artifact, and Circle of Protection Art came up. Artifacts. Circle of Protection Artifacts. All right, here we go. Let me pop this up here. Yeah, it prevents all damage against you from any one artifact source. So this could be an absolute powerhouse against Derek, because if he's going to go the route we're thinking he should go, he's going to put in all those Tetravis, and he's already got the factories and the Triskelions. So Lucas could just board in these 2 cop artifacts and be protected against all of Derek's attacks, basically, except the ghost ships, if he takes out the Urnums.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, John? I mean, just these 2 cards could completely nuke Derek's deck altogether.
It totally hose all of his win conditions.
Yeah. So
it's pretty rough. It seems like a tough match for Derek to win.
Yeah, it really is. Lucas's deck is so well designed. It's so balanced. It's so well thought out. It has answers for everything. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to put in maybe an extra Abyss in case Well, we've already got 2 Abyss main. Do we really?
It's tough to play against these prison decks and 4 Horsemen because if you don't have some really specific answers for some of their nonsense, they just shut your whole strategy off. I mean,
Right.
Lucas didn't even play
An
an
Underworld.
Underworld games last game.
No, yeah, he did not play Underworld.
No, he didn't even end up getting there. He just made it so hopeless that Derek scooped. But, hopefully he can get a game in here. Let's see what happens in game 2.
Yeah. All right, so in summary, if I'm Lucas, I'm probably going to sideboard out my land tax, a couple of my land tax, and I would sideboard in those 2 Circle Protection artifacts. And I don't know, do I need anything else? Maybe I sideboard out the Ashes to Ashes, because that doesn't work on artifacts. And maybe I sideboard in the extra moat just in case. That will stop the Triskelions and the Mistress Factories from attacking. So I think that's what I would do. Take out the Ashes to Ashes, put in the moat, take out 2 land tax, put in the 2 cop artifacts, and I don't know. Do you think he should put in the Triskelions, John?
Yeah.
What do you take out What do you take out for Triskelion? Maybe you take out one of the Oubliettes and.
Oh, do I think Lucas should put in the Triskelions? Yeah. I don't think he needs them.
You don't think he needs them? I might take out one Oubliette and put in one Triskelion just as a plan C, But let's see what happens. With that, we'll get back to the match. Lucas's Underworld Prison versus Derek's Counter Trike, game 2. And I'm going to switch back over here for us. All right. We'll jump ahead.
4 Ivory Towers is just so disgusting.
Man, these were the quad Ivory Tower days, and the players got really, really tired of these long games. I mean, this match here we're watching with Lucas and Derek has already been almost an hour. We've been playing it at 1.5 to 2x, and if this goes a best 2 out of 3, which it usually does, that the games are just so unbearably long that a lot of us with families and kids and stuff can't do that. So we ended up restricting the Ivory Tower for this reason. What you're seeing here. All right, I've got this at 2x, John. And
that seems fine.
The guys are doing the routine. All right. Derek's got his hand. We can almost see his cards. We might be able to make out a little bit of what he's got. Lucas is looking through his hand, tapping pensively. Derek's taking a mulligan here. Lucas looks like he's okay with his hand. While Derek is shuffling up, I'm going to grab a drink, John. I'll be right back.
Good call. Me too.
Okay, so Lucas is on the... Looks like Derek got started pretty early with a factory, a tropical, and got the Sylvan out. He's rocking and rolling, John. Look at this.
Out the gate.
Out the gate with the elves and hitting in with the factory. Got the Sylvan Library. Turn 2. I mean, this is basically a perfect start for Derek. Wow. I'm wondering if this is such a out of the gate rocket start for Derek, if this is going to put Lucas on the back heel here. Ghost ship coming down on turn 4. Would you do that, John, or would you just keep hitting in? Because you can hit in for 3 damage between the elf and the factory.
It's well, I guess it's moot now. It's moat now.
Yeah, so you could have hit in
It's
for
a moat point.
it's a moat point. You could have hit in for 3, and now you play now you play the ghost ship on this turn. But now you can hit in with ghost ship, tapping out for 6 here to play the Tetravis. There it is. 2 flyers for Derek now. I mean, I cannot imagine, other than having a workshop maybe instead of these factories. I can't really imagine how Derek could have a more perfect first few turns here.
Greetings, old school magic players, and
What? I can't believe. Did I put that in my playlist? That's funny.
Man, this is so vicious. He hit the moat. He had a divine offering. He had a oubliette. He's just, oh hey, there's that Ring of Immortals.
There's
cool.
the Ring of Immortal.
I don't know how great it's going to be, but I like seeing it hit the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty spicy, right? Like, that card, really cool to see it in action here, and I think it's going to be good. Once again, the cards that Derek's getting here are really optimal. You know, he hasn't run into Mana Screw at all. Think about that. Like, with those 19 lands, he's been able to somehow just draw really well on the mana base and not, he gets the workshops when you need them later, but not early. An early workshop stuck on 1 land in a workshop can absolutely wreck Derek's deck. So he's gotten really optimal land draws here. Meanwhile, Derek gets his Tetravis Divine Offering and comes down with the reconstruction to regrow it back and get it back into play. The Millstone coming down for Lucas. That's fortunate for him to get that early. Derek will need the Felden's Cane to be able to compensate. Land tax coming down for Lucas.
Not a bad card to have when you're just sitting back and gaining life off of Ivory Tower.
Yeah. Well, what's Lucas's hand count right now? Is he at...
I'm not sure what his hand count is, but he has less lands than Derek does, so he's going to be able to tax.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to...
I guess his hand count must be 2. Is that dice in the middle of his hand count? Yeah, it is. And he just showed those 2 cards when he laid them down as well. I mean, he didn't reveal them, but we can see that he has 2 cards. So Lucas has adopted the angle view that most of the Australians are going with now, where you can see everything around the Mac. You can see his hands. It's good. Derek also has been really good about keeping his hand count on the screen and keeping his cards on the screen. But he is using a little bit more of the top-down angle that we also see.
Yeah, we've talked a lot in the Facebook group about encouraging the view that Lucas has. This view is fully transparent for your opponent. Everything over webcam is trust-based, and this gives you full trust that your opponent's not pulling any shenanigans. The top-down view is not preferred anymore. It's certainly better to have the angled view that Lucas has. Shows your hands, shows your cards in hands at all time. And hopefully all the players in Four Horsemen will hopefully adopt this more optimal view over time. We're strongly pushing for that. Okay, so Lucas is able to land tax, and now he's got 5 cards, gains 1 life, brings him up to 21. And yeah, you're right, John. He can just sit back. He's got the 2 oubliettes that removed a creature or 2. He's got the moat. He's got the land tax. He's got everything he needs right now. All he really needs is Underworld Dreams. Okay, and
it's funny though. Underworld Dreams costs triple black, and he only has 1 black on the board right now. So he would have to deploy a couple more lands to get that down. But he has plenty of time to do that.
yeah, he's got tons of time, and he can always get those extra swamps with that land tax. So, how many lands? 2, 4, 6. Derek's got 6 lands, so he'll be able to land tax. If he sticks on 5 land here, he'll be able to land tax as many times as he wants for the rest of the game until he goes to 6. So he's actually discarding that extra swamp there.
You know what's funny? We've already commentated the finals before we made this video, because we did them out of order because we got to do the finals with Brian, which was nice. But I actually don't remember already. We did it long enough ago that I don't remember who wins the finals. And so I don't actually remember who wins this match either, because I don't know which one of them advances.
Well, good. We don't want any spoilers, John.
This is a benefit of having a somewhat bad memory, I guess.
Well, you know, it's late. It's late for us. It's easy to slip up, you know. Okay, so is Lucas going to play a 6th land here and go to land parity? Yep, he does. So no more land tax for Lucas for a while.
Well, he must be wanting to play.
Oh well, Derek played a workshop, so now Derek's got 7 lands.
Yeah. Hopefully he draws an Underworld Dreams and he can stick one. I mean, that seems to be his desire.
Well, who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for Derek or are you rooting for Lucas?
Well, I think that they're both long-term players of the format. They both have played multiple decks and multiple tournaments. I don't know. I'd be happy with either of them to come out on top. I mean, I think Derek has kind of an uphill battle here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he actually wins this game. I mean, he does have the Coffin Triskelion combo out right now.
Yep. Yeah.
So if that goes unimpeded, he could win that way.
Yeah. This is one of his outs right here. He can basically get 6 counters on the Triskelion and then hit for 3 every turn for the rest of the game.
But is putting 3 counters on that a turn going to keep up with
the
Ivory Tower?
Not with the life gain, right? I mean, he's it'll keep him at parity for a few turns, but then Lucas will get another tower or another Fountain of Youth, and his life count will run away. Okay, so Derek plays. What's Derek playing here? Oh, he's countering the Spirit Link with the Ring of the Immortal. This is some great stuff we're seeing here. You never see this kind of action anywhere except for 4 Horsemen. Ring of Immortal countering Spirit Link, and then
I'm not sure why he even played the Spirit Link knowing that he could do that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think he forgot. And then flash counter.
Well, I mean, that's understandable. It's like, who plays that card, right?
What does that card do?
Oh, yeah, you have a card that can count.
Well, just like in the last semifinals match, Christian versus who was it? In the last semifinals match, it was Christian versus Jack. We saw flash counter take out and counter Bloodlust over and over. Well, here we're seeing flash counter Divine Offering, which is also very spicy.
Yeah, flash counter is not completely useless. I mean, certainly, I wish that it was a negate. I wish that card existed in Old School. That would be like a huge shift in the entire format if that card.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that Flash Counter can take down. It can take out, Flash Flood and Active Volcano. It can counter Avoid Fate, Divine Offering, Crumble, Fissure. There's actually quite a bit of heavily Boomerang even can be countered. and of course Removed Soul and the Mana Drain. Like there's so many great.
I mean, that's its chief role is as the anti-mana drain, because instead of having to mana drain your opponent's mana drain, you can just keep your own mana drain in your hand. And,
That's right. Yeah.
Flash counter instead.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it does seem to have quite a few applications. I mean, it misses on a lot of things too. You know, it can't get any of the sorceries, but it's certainly found a place in Four Horsemen, and we've seen it more and more as time has gone on. And it's funny that even in the Wild West, where you can play 4 mana drains, we still see flash counters show up quite often.
Yeah, it's even better in Wild Wild West when you've got the 4 mana drains in every blue deck. So
yeah,
it trumps.
Yeah, really. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
It's the anti-mana drain.
Meanwhile, Lucas here has found his Underworld Dreams, number 1, and his Abyss. So now he's got Underworld Dreams, Abyss, Lantax, Moat, and Ivory Tower, Millstone. So he is in prime position. Derek is really going to have to pull out some stops here. What's your thoughts here, John? Is this game a foregone conclusion?
It's tough. I don't know. I don't know how Derek wins.
I mean, Derek's at 9 because he's on the clock from the Underworld Dreams, clicking down to 8.
Yeah. Lucas's deck is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And he's got such a stockpile of life there that he doesn't really care what. I mean, it's become non-interactive, really. Like, he doesn't really care what Derek's doing at this point.
Yeah. I wonder if Derek left in the Eye of Chaos and put in that extra Desert Twister. If he can get rid of the Abyss, he'll still have his ghost ships.
But he can't even afford to at this point. Like, if he drew a Desert Twister at this point, he has to Desert Twister the Underworld Dreams.
That's a good point, but he will have 3 Desert Twisters, so he could come in. But yeah, you're right. I feel like, dang, it's just Derek's in such a tough spot.
Yeah, he has to Desert Twister the Underworld Dreams to make this even in any way, shape, or form winnable.
You're right.
Otherwise, he's just going to bleed out.
And then another Underworld Dreams could replace it if Lucas did not sideboard any out and is running all 4.
Yeah, and I'm sure he didn't. So, like, this feels like it might be over.
Yeah.
I mean, the Black-White Prison's for real. Tim Kincaid brought Black-White Prison to the table back in Tournament 14, and it was the first time that he had played. And that was with a much heavier banned and restricted list, and he won that tournament with that deck. And it's been a force ever since. I mean, there's slight variations on it, but it's a tough deck in this format. It's a top deck for sure.
Yeah, top tier. That deck was a game changer for pretty much everyone. And Tim kind of played in a couple of events, and then boom, he won first place with that. Like, he really didn't have a ton of Four Horsemen experience. I think he had played 2 or 3 times, and then he
played before? I thought that was his first one.
Or maybe it was his first or second. I think it was his. I don't know. We'll have to ask him. I think it was either his. I can't remember. We could actually look on the website of the Four Horsemen Magic.com.
Yeah. We keep all that stuff, so that's kind of cool.
But the crazy thing is he had like 27 enchantments or some insanity, and the players just couldn't deal with that.
Well, and he was playing the version that couldn't even have like 4 of some of the more egregious cards. So like he was playing all kinds of stuff. He was playing some of the other enchantments that disable attackers. He was playing a card that I don't even think I ever have seen played before, a Legends card that gains you a life every turn if you have a Plains in play. He was playing all kinds of cool stuff, and I was like, this is pretty neat. And it kind of came down to a war where I was playing mono blue that tournament. Him and I faced off in the finals, and I kept bouncing his stuff with time elementals, and then he kept replaying it. I was having to bounce his Underworld Dreams every turn so that I didn't take damage from it.
Right.
And it became this battle over the time elemental. Could I keep it stuck to the board? Eventually, he was able to get rid of it, and I lost. And,
Man,
but it was cool. I won the one right before that, and then I lost to somebody fresh coming in, and that felt just fine. And yeah, he's been a great player since, and now he's chipping in on commentaries with us, and he's become a bigger part of the format.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And meanwhile, Lucas here, I paused the match while we were talking. Lucas here is popping off a Divine Offering, and I think he's targeting the Tawnos Coffin, and he's forgetting again about Ring of Immortal here. This is the second time. You see he kind of leaned back and he jolted back in his chair a little bit. That's the second time he forgot that this thing counters. And what's going on here? That's not a take back, is it, John? That better not be a take back.
I'm not gonna look at the screen. I don't love it.
Now we're seeing.
Take it back, please.
Let me wait. What just happened here? Let's rewind here. So there's already a Divine Offering in the graveyard from the last turn. Because that's definitely one of our rules. That's been a rule that we've had to enforce during tournaments is no takebacks.
No takesies, backsies.
No takesies, backsies. So Lucas is definitely Divine Offering. Puts it in the graveyard. Derek activates Ring of Immortal. So and so now did he grab it? No, he's not activating it. What's going on here? Do we need to turn the volume on? I think we need to turn the volume on and see what's happening here. Let me go back and I'll turn the volume and we'll play this normal.
Misha's Factory and Misha's Factory and a Plains to play Divine Offering on your Tawnos' Coffin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So he is trying to target the coffin.
Yeah, we'll protect it with the ring.
It's not a creature though.
Permanent. Do you want to take it back?
Permanent. Okay.
You can take it back if you want.
Yeah, sorry, I thought
Because
it was
a misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding, so I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take it back if you like.
All right, so I'm going to do this differently then. I'm going to Spirit Link your I'm going to Spirit Link your Tetravis. I'm going to Spirit Link.
I think, John, he needs to Spirit Link his own creature here, but he doesn't have Kumbaj Witches, right?
That's Spirit Link.
That's a oubliette there.
He's got nothing to put it on. Is he just trying to play a card so that he doesn't have to discard?
Well, I think he's trying to do like some. We've talked about mana drain bait, right? I think maybe he's trying to play Spirit Link first so that Derek will activate the ring on the Spirit Link and then he can Divine Offering. But he's already given away his hand by trying to cast Divine Offering. What Derek was saying was, hey, if you didn't realize it's any permanent that is targeted, he's offering to allow him to take back. Number one, we have a rule for this in the Four Horsemen rules guide, strictly saying in a tournament environment, in a tournament match, we don't allow takebacks, even if they're play errors, even if you don't understand the card, especially when we're sharing deck photos and you can easily look up the cards. But Derek is saying he can take it back, so he's taking it back, and now he's trying to play Spirit Link and figure out what to put that on. But that can be countered too, unless he puts it on his own creature.
Yeah, only if he puts it on his own creature, would it not be able to be countered?
Yeah. So
Ooh,
Lucas is really struggling with what to do here.
I'm going to Spirit Link your Trike that's tapped with the 3 counters. I don't know if that's the right answer, but anyway.
Okay,
I mean, for a play
I don't
that
wanna do
doesn't
this.
really
yeah,
matter that much, I don't.
I will shoot you for 3, and then shoot it with that one.
So also 6.
Yeah, so Derek elects to shoot him for a couple of points, and then the Triskelion shoots itself like normal. I'm going to put this back up to the 2x speed. So now that Spirit Link fizzles, and Derek's not falling for the activating the bait to activate the ring here, because now he knows he's got that Divine Offering, so he's gonna keep that ring, and Lucas is in a weird spot.
Yeah, if Lucas had played them in the opposite order, if he would have Spirit Linked first, Derek probably would have just used the ring on it, because he wouldn't have known that he had another thing. He wouldn't have known he had the Divine Offering in his hand.
Right.
Dude, that was all kind of weird. But
Yeah, and so he went ahead and played the Divine Offering, and it countered with the ring. I think that's the right thing to do here, because you don't want to be doing these takebacks, and the net result is the same here. That was the right order to do it, and clearly Lucas made a play error there. So I'm really glad to see that Lucas went ahead and played out that Divine Offering, and so that takeback doesn't really factor in here. But yeah, for our viewers and our players, no takesies, backsies in tournaments. That's definitely one of the clear rules in the rule book.
I mean, I'm all for, Old School is a fun place of, camaraderie and whatever, but there is a certain line of decorum in a tournament versus just playing a casual game or playing there has to be, in order for a tournament to have integrity, I feel like there has to be a line there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are people that would argue that, but for me, I mean, own your mistakes, learn from them.
Yeah.
Don't make them again in future games. But if you play a card, live with it.
Yeah, and certainly in casual games, takebacks are totally cool, and within the tournament environment, we've had people abusing the takebacks. That's been the problem. There's been certain individuals in the past who, in a single match will do takebacks over and over and over and over, and it becomes a real problem, and it puts the other opponent in a very awkward spot, where the other opponent has to then call out the other player, and that gets uncomfortable. It's just not cool. So that's why we have that rule, and it's come into play many times. And if you watch some of the other Four Horsemen prior videos, you'll see certain players abusing the takebacks all the time. And for the tournament environments, I think you're right, John. There has to be a certain line of decorum, and it's about respecting the other player and having proper etiquette so that you're not putting your other player in an awkward and uncomfortable position. Back to the game here. Lucas is millstoning away, and Derek has been doing the Triskelion Tanos Coffin tactics to get those counters each turn. Could he be putting those counters on the Tetravis to make that Tetravis a 7/7 or whatever?
He sure could. He could be making a giant flyer that could be beating in.
I'm wondering why he's not doing that instead of.
I just don't know if he feels like he's going to be able to do it fast enough. Because if he doesn't get rid of that Underworld Dreams, it's just over. He's on a 4-turn clock here, and if he wastes a couple of turns putting counters on that, You know, I don't know. Although I mean, he's done some work. He's got
Yeah.
Lucas down to 17.
Yep.
But I don't know if it's going to be enough.
This is the power of the Underworld Dreams. It is such a powerhouse, and it's triple black, so you don't see a lot of decks like what Lucas is playing. The land tax makes the Underworld Dreams viable in Lucas's decks because he can grab those extra swamps, and it puts the opponent on a clock and even doubles and triples down when you get multiples of them. We haven't seen Underworld Dreams dominate and crush a lot in Four Horsemen, but it certainly is in this tournament. What Derek really needs here is he needs a strip mine, and he needs a In the Eye of Chaos so that he can, and he needs a Desert Twister. He needs a Desert Twister to get rid of the Underworld Dreams. He needs an In the Eye of Chaos to kill the Abyss, and then he needs a strip mine to kill that factory. He needs a lot of stuff, and he doesn't have enough turns to get it done. The other thing that might save Derek here, John, is a Dark Heart of the Wood, but because his only black source is the Elves of Deep Shadow, he's never going to be able to play Dark Heart of the Wood. This is another reason why I would prefer Felwar Stone. A lot of players play City of Brass and, things like that. So, and he could have run one or two swamps, or at least a couple of bayous, so that he would have that black mana in case he runs into the Abyss. But he's not going to be able to play Dark Heart of the Wood and gain life himself. Unless he gets into this scenario. This is interesting. He's playing double Elves of Deep Shadow. So now he might be able to do it. John, look at this. He might be able to sack one elf, and then you've still got an elf remaining, and then he can play Dark Heart of the Wood. He's got at least, what's that? 1, 2, 3. He's got at least 3 forests down there.
Tight. Maybe he can get there.
Maybe he can get there. Are we gonna see Derek pull out of this and go to game 3?
Or are we gonna have to watch another game?
Yeah, it's already like 1 a.m, 2 your time. This is getting real late. I don't know. I think he's at 2 life. I don't see any way out of this for Derek, unfortunately. Underworld Dreams number 2. Game over. Derek throws his hands into the graveyard and starts top decking. There's a mana drain. Dark Heart was 3-4 cards down. The crumble he needed for that millstone there.
Well, he also could use the crumble to gain some extra life and stay in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would have kept me alive just long enough, I think, to finish.
That's that. Looks like Lucas is
that.
going to be going on to the finals, and he'll be playing against the Cobalt deck.
Yeah. Jack. If Jack won the last semifinals match, spoiler alert if you haven't watched that match yet, but Jack's going to be going to the finals, and Lucas is going to be proceeding to the finals. You can see Lucas is here in the bracket graphics, and Jack won the other semifinals match, so that'll be a really fantastic finals. Four Horsemen Wild Wild West Tournament 21 finale. And with that, we've wrapped up our last semifinals. Let me switch over to the graphics here. We're going to see Lucas and Jack in the finals together, and we have Brian Weissman and John Eckleberry slated for commentary. We always love it when Brian joins us, and Brian had played in the original Wild Wild West Tournament number 4 back in the day, so it'll be fun to have you guys doing commentary. For our viewers, thanks for joining us. John, thanks again for all your support and for commentating with me. That brings us to Tournament 21 semifinals wrap up. We will sign off for the night, and we'll see you guys next time.